Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Um, we are on the series of a narcissist and the characteristics and traits. Last week I gave, in part 2, I gave scriptures as to how the demonic, certain demonic traits are connected with a narcissist. This week, I want to go out into the characteristics of the narcissist. And first, I want to say narcissists are known to do smear campaigns against people that I guess that they can't control. They'll go out and they'll pretty much make up lies. I've known some of them that just completely lied, on someone. And the only reason why that person was ready to deal with that kind of behavior was because she and I both had a feeling, that this person was a narcissist. So, she stayed 10 steps ahead. In my situation, I'm going to share, as I said, my personal experience with a narcissist. And I think I have plenty of experience because I was married to one for 34 years. And I don't have a degree as far as psychology or anything like that. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research. My degrees are in a different field. My expertise is in a different field. So this is life knowledge that I'm going on, life experiences that I'm going on, and the information from doctors that are, that do have degrees in psychology. First, I want to say, though, it took me a long time to make up my mind to do this video because to do these videos and to create my podcast. I'm kind of having a little difficulty. Like I said, I'm not a digital person. I'm not a technical person. So I'm waiting to get some help where I can get that taken care of, where I can do my podcast. Because I really want to go in deep and share the personal experiences that I had with my narcissist. Like I said, it is not to get back at anybody, but when you are a survivor of a narcissist relationship or, narcissistic abuse, for me, I guess different people handle different things differently. But for me to talk about it and to get it out, because I know my experiences may help someone else from going through what a narcissist puts people through. So what I wanted to say is narcissists are known to do smear campaigns. They're known to drag people through the mud that they may not be able to control. Things may not go their way, and they'll flip the script to make it seem like that person that withstood and held their ground with him is the person that you need to be watchful of. So I'm gonna say this is not a smear campaign. It don't, so many things happen, so many bad things happen. It almost feels like it is a smear campaign to even tell your experiences, to share your experiences. But it took me a while. I had to get over that. This is not a smear campaign, but it is a campaign of truth, a journey, a long journey that I'm still walking. I've not reached my destination. So it is still a journey. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the characteristics of a narcissist. Some doctors and psychologists say there's 5. This one, I remember I found one where it was like 8, and I think I found this doctor again. So the first one is an overt narcissist, where they have the grandiose and the, let me see, they're known as the classic narcissist. The overt narcissist, and I brought these things, I'm not reading from a script, but like I said, I don't have a psychological degree, psychology or anything like that. So I'm going to explain what a covert narcissist is. A covert, which is also the vulnerable narcissist, is characterized by a lack of empathy, entitlement, hypersensitivity, passive-aggressive behavior, sense of justice, resentment, insecurity, low levels of self-esteem, and high levels of depression. Contempt is pervasive and prominent in these individuals. In the extreme of this presentation, these individuals tend to exhibit behaviors consistent with the sociopath. Okay, hold on, I'm sorry, I just read the covert narcissist. Let me go to the overt narcissist. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I skipped that. So the overt narcissist is also known as the classic. Well, that one is known as the classic. I read the wrong definition. A stereotypical narcissist, and what many think of when they use this term. These individuals are typically described as arrogant, entitled, charming, grandiose, superficial, and vain. Dr. Durvasula describes these individuals as show-offs and overly confident, and frequently not accompanied with any accurate assessment of their abilities. They tend to lack empathy and have a proclivity for lying and being antagonist. When these individuals are disappointed, they will exhibit rage. Okay, let me get to the next one. The next one is a malignant narcissist. Me personally, I am not aware that I know any malignant narcissists, but I do know someone that was married to one that during her marriage with this narcissist, she was poisoned. So, if that's not dark, I don't know what is. So the malignant narcissist, according to Dr. Durvasula, this is the most toxic and aversion type of narcissist. She writes, this form takes the grandiose narcissist and adds a more exploitative, antagonistic, Machiavellian, and at times seemingly psychopathic overlay. Malignant narcissists drive people to the edge and leave them feeling betrayed, fearful, manipulated, tricked, and devastated. The malignant narcissist is often referred to as a dark triad: psychopathy, however you pronounce this word, Machiavellianism, and narcissism, or a dark tetrad. One was a triad, the other is a tetrad. Psychopathy, Machiavellianism, sadism, and narcissism. These individuals are quite charming, yet political, manipulative, and often lack remorse. Due to their exploitative nature, they can truly cause a lot of devastation and damage to others. These are the individuals who may not only bend or break laws, but also abuse their power. These individuals will often see others as disposable and a means to an end. Leaving a relationship with the malignant narcissist can be very difficult due to the fear of the narcissist and what they may do. Wow. Okay, the next one is a communal narcissist. I'm very familiar with those. The communal narcissists are wholly engaged in the community and post everything online about their pursuits in changing the world. Communal narcissists may feature frequent posts on their social media or personal website, showing them interacting with those less fortunate than them, and drawing attention to their charitable deeds with hashtags like saving the world, feels good to give back, charity goes, I love everyone, or elephants are people too. Then they sit back, expect validation from their followers. Wow, you are amazing. You have the biggest heart ever. Keep saving the world. And you look hot in that bikini. And then bask in likes and comments about their giving nature. These individuals perceive themselves as altruistic, which is in contrast to the three above types that would perceive themselves as successful. They perceive themselves as successful. Dr. Dervasula makes a point of caution that there are people who can truly give of some of themselves to others and not be communal narcissists. She stresses that an important factor to consider is the motivation behind the altruistic behaviors and actions. Further, these individuals may present to the world as others facing, while at home they may be quite the opposite. I'm familiar with this one. This can result in a lot of confusion for loved ones and partners, as at home the other narcissistic traits are on display. In many ways, the communal narcissist derives a sense of self from the idea of being a giver, but maintains little insight into his or her entitlement, antagonism, or lack of empathy in other close relationships. And then the next one is the neglectful narcissist. The neglectful narcissists do not engage with anyone unless they need something from them. I know people like that too. People are seen as conveniences for them and not as individuals to have genuine relationships and connections with. The next one is the benign narcissist. The benign narcissists often exhibit a lack of empathy, entitlement, and grandiosity. However, others experience their lack of empathy as being clueless, their entitlement as being clumsy, and their grandiosity as being childlike. These are the individuals who only talk about themselves or work to make your story or what you are saying about them. Yeah, I know them. They have a superficial immaturity and often resemble adolescents who are preoccupied with caring what others think about them. Obsessively follow social media and likes or thoughtfulness when they speak, and others are often dismissing their behaviors as someone who does not have a filter. Relationships with these individuals may not be fulfilling, and may be described as shallow and immature. In comparison to the other types of narcissists, these individuals do not cause as much damage or destruction in many ways. They are very harmless. Okay, and the next one is entitled. The entitled narcissist. Let me see. The Dr. Dervasula describes that entitlement is being seen everywhere today. My goodness. Which underscores that entitlement is taught. It is not a trait we were born with, like introversion or extroversion. Entitlement is visible in the behaviors of others, and it is the belief that we deserve special treatment without cause or reason, even at the expense of another person. Very familiar with that. We can all think of examples of entitlement. The impatient person at the store who feels they do not need to wait in line, or the person who removes a reserved sign in a blocked off area at an event and sits in a restricted area anyway. I know a lot of those. And then you have the generational narcissist. And the generational narcissist, whose behaviors are reinforced by culture. I think it has a lot to do with heritage. This may be like when we say our parents looks and acts like narcissists. However, we can understand it because we know their family history, where they came from, where they lived. That's kind of like environment. This type of narcissist is reinforced through history, through intergenerational traumas and other patterns of behaviors. Dr. Dervasula describes that these patterns of narcissistic behaviors are observed in cultures and societies characterized by stratification of authoritarianism, patriarchy, major differences in power, massive divides between haves and haves not. So there you have the 8 traits of narcissists. The narcissist I was married to started out as a covert narcissist. Quiet, kind of mild-mannered. I don't like to describe a man as soft-spoken, but kind of very gentle tone. As a matter of fact, everyone I've met that are soft-spoken and I don't trust, because everyone that I've met that are soft-spoken and so caring and they're full of crap. Every last one that I've met. Now, I'm sure there are some people that are just naturally soft-spoken, and that's just their voice range. The ones I've met, and my experience with covert narcissists, I can't be around them because I see another side. After you've been with someone that long and you see another side. The narcissist I was with, once we got married, and then he started exposing who he really was. He went from a covert to an overt narcissist, where he was always bragging about, I did this, I did that, I'm the best at this, I'm the best at that. Ain't nobody like me. If my job, if they won't let me out, lay me out, because they need me. They know they need me. Constantly bragging. I remember, I can honestly say when I was in school, I did horrible in school. My home life was just completely messed up. And no matter what I tried to do, I could not concentrate in school. I've never been dumb. I've never been slow. Never had any issues understanding any matters. but I could not concentrate in school. So when we were dating, I told him that I was going to get a summer job and I had to go get my school transcript. And I told him from the jump, my school transcript is completely awful. It was so bad to the point I didn't want him to see it. I got it from, and he literally wrestled me and took it from me to read it. And when he did, he laughed a little and, which kind of hurt my feelings at the time. But, I already had told him. So, after we got married and had kids and, our kids was in school and he would brag about, me and his siblings, we was smart, we was this, we were that, we were invincible, we was the best in football, we were the smartest in our class and, everything. So my kids are very intelligent, but some of them didn't apply themselves. Some of them were like B, C students, could have been A, didn't apply themselves. So he would always compare himself to them. When I was in school, I had all A's. When I was in school, I was like this, I was like that. But when he decided to go back to school, he ordered his transcript. And when we saw the transcript, the only A's that we saw were in his name and in his gym class. So, oops, there goes a lie. He propped himself up to put others down. And he used to say these little, y'all gonna be like your mother's family. Y'all ain't gonna be like me. We were this, we were that. So that came to a halt. I also noticed that he became the communal narcissist, where he's very helpful. Up to this day, he'll help. Oh yeah, I'll help you. I'll do this. I'll do that. But he does it. There's always a motive behind it. And I remember telling people, be careful with him helping you because there's always a motive. Whether they see it or not, the narcissist he's not a real friend, or she's not a real friend to anyone, because some of his closest friends, thought they were like just tight, but he would dog these people out, at home, like put them down, and this person is he always. I remember even threatening one time, saying that I was gonna tell one of his friends some of the things that he would say, but I didn't, for the simple fact it would really hurt the friend. The friend was a really decent person, so I didn't. But some of the traits I've given you, try to compare them with the ways of the Most High. See if any of them carry the characteristics of the Most High: controlling, conniving, cruel, mean, nasty, arrogant, prideful. See if any of those match with the traits of the Most High. And then you can kind of say, okay, well, maybe they're godly people. I'm almost doubting you're going to have it's going to be impossible to do. I know people that are dealing with narcissists, and they may wonder why it always seems like it's something, why there's always tension, why there's always stress. That is the spirit of a narcissist. That's the spirit when you can't figure it out, because they're trying to wrap you in, and when you get so far in, then they reveal themselves. So I'm just trying to help anybody I can. Don't wait for years and years before you wake up, because the minute you wake up, you begin to take back that power. I remember my narcissist used to tell me, when I would complain about the things they do to him, oh, you a victim? You ain't no victim. And a long time ago, that was, I would get upset. I would go off, fuss, argue, cuss. But then after a while, when he would say, you ain't no victim, ain't nobody did nothing to you, I could honestly say I'm a survivor. I survived. I am surviving. And now I'm exposing. So I want anyone that, if this information is helpful, this is going to be part 3. Part 4, I'm going to go into other things with the narcissist. And I also want to give everyone a heads up. I'm just waiting to do my podcast. That is the one that, I'm writing it out, the intro to it, because I want to share the story as how I even came in contact to have a relationship with the narcissist. That one, even as I'm writing out, kind of the structure of what I want to do. That one is really heartfelt. That one, sometimes I have to kind of take a break because it just talking about it just kind of messes with my anxiety. But I think this is really what I need to do because I need to get past this part of my life because I'm ready to move on. So I'm going to invite you all to like and subscribe if this is helpful to you. And be on the lookout for my podcast, because once I get it together, I'm going to put the link in one of these descriptions of this YouTube channel. So as I said, if this is helpful to you, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Have a good day.